Hey, what's up everyone? So today we're going to be looking at how to build this um, Fusion 360 monthly challenge in Fusion 360 today. So let's take a look at the drawing first. Alright, so it's a 3D model, it's got a bunch of dimensions on it, pretty straightforward. It can be broken down into a few basic shapes, and once you're able to do that, it's actually really easy. So we're going to start with the base right here. And so that's going to be this kind of rectangular prism back here. Not this top area right here, but the bottom area, and also this half cylinder. Okay, so we're going to build that first, and then we're going to move on to the top half. Okay, so let's go into a new design. And I'm going to create a sketch on this bottom plane right here, so I can just extrude out these bottom two sections right here, and that's going to be it. So I'm going to choose this plane over here. And I'm going to start with my rectangle and my half circle. So that I'm going to use an arc, a center point arc. And I can find the midpoint by kind of mousing over where it is. And once you see this triangle right here, that means you're locked onto the midpoint. So I can go from the midpoint to the corner right here and draw my arc like that. Click again to confirm. Okay, and I'm also going to make this line right here a construction line, since it doesn't matter what we don't have to like click both the profiles when we're extruding. So X and click the line, and X, that's going to be construction. Okay, and there's still a few more constraints that we need to look at. So the radius of this arc right here needs to be 18, so we can dimension that. Let's see. So D for dimension, click this, that's 18. Okay, and so we still need to dimension how long this thing is. Let's take a look at that. So right here we can see that this edge lines up with the bottom of this rectangular prism, right? So we can tell that this dimension is the same as it would be over here. So we're going to use 24 as the length of our rectangle. So let's take a look over here. D for dimension is 24. Okay, and that's it. Everything's turned to black, so nothing can move around. That's good. And then now we extrude it. So by what height? Let's see. So 14 is the height right here. We can see it over here from this point to this point, 14. So we're going to extrude and type in the number right here, 14. Okay, so that's that, right? Pretty basic. That's already half of it. So let's move on to this top part over here. So it looks a little complicated, but if we just think about it as like a prism, and we just take out this like kind of cave area. So there's no hole. Just think about it as there's like no hole here, right? And so if we try to extrude this, the profile would just be this kind of trapezoid shape. So we're gonna extrude that, and then we can deal with this hole a little later. Okay, so let's get right to that. So I'm actually gonna create my sketch over here. And this is the back of the model. That's gonna be behind this area right here. Right, and so we can see over here, 13 is the width of this top part right here, and then just from there it just goes down in one line to the bottom of the rectangular prism over here. So we're gonna draw that first. Oops. So a line like this, right, and that's gonna be 13. That's 13. We also know that there's a line connecting from this point to this corner right here, because that's straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to project in this line, because we're going to use it. So I'm going to hit that and hit OK. So now it's purple. Now I can use it. So L, I know there's going to be a straight line right here. I'm going to make this 90 degrees, so perpendicular. Right, so this is 13. But we still don't know the length of this line, right? So we have to check on that later. But we do know that there's a straight line going diagonally down to over here, right? And so once again, that's this line right here. Okay, and so the height, right, is 21. You just type that in. 21. Okay, and everything turns black, fully constrained, we're good, right? And this is the profile that we're gonna extrude. And so let's take a look at how much we need to extrude it. Right, so it's gonna go out this way by 24 units. Finish sketch, and I'm going to extrude this way 24. And so it's actually the other way, like that, okay? So that's most of it done. Right, and we're just gonna make sure it's join. Make sure the operation is join right here. Okay. So now for the hole right here. So if you notice, these two lines here and here are parallel. So that means we can do an extrusion through here of this profile. So this little trapezoid up here, this can be the profile that we use to extrude. And that's how we're gonna make the cut. Okay, so I'm actually going to create my sketch over here on this plane just because it's convenient and it's in the correct direction. Right, so let's take a look at some dimensions. You can see over here, the height of this trapezoid right here is 12. We know that this width, the small width over here, is 14. And the big width up here is just 24, which is the size of the thing that we just extruded. So I'm actually going to project in this edge right here because we're going to need to use it. Okay, and forgot the dimensions already, so let's take a look at it again. So, okay, height is 12, right? 14 this way. So height is 12, we're going to draw a line. 12 millimeters tall. So from this point to down here. And 14 wide, right? So go across 14. So there it is, right? And then the final line connects back up to over here. So we don't care what that dimension is, as long as it's going from this point to this point, we know we have the correct, it's the correct length. Okay, and just like that, we have our profile. We can finish sketch, and yeah, and now we're gonna extrude it. So pretty simple, click the profile, and we're going to extrude it into here. So to make sure you have the extrusion at the right length, we know, right, based on looking at this image right here, that it all comes to like this corner right here. So the extrusion goes from out here, where we drew the plane, and it goes all the way until it hits this corner right here. It doesn't go past it, it's not anywhere before it. So what we can do is, because we know that, we can use we can change the extent type from distance, make it to object. So basically it'll extrude all the way to whatever object I select. So if I have this object selection tool clicked right here, I can choose, say, like this point right here, and so it'll extrude all the way to this point. And that's exactly where I want, because this is where it kind of like everything meets up. And so I'll hit OK, make sure the operation is cut, hit OK, and then that's it. Yeah, and so that's how you make this Fusion 360 challenge right here. Thanks for watching.